Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. In this series, I'm talking about identifying intimate domestic abuse against women. And I came across another website, which is called womenshealth.gov. And I want to share this information that I found, which is very informative, and it'll help you to identify and to get out of this kind of situation. So, we talked about abuse. How do you know you're being abused? In a close relationship, it says it can be difficult to know whether you're being abused, especially if your partner says they love you, give you a lot of attention, or pays for the groceries or your rent. People who are abusive sometimes act loving and supportive as a way to keep you in the relationship. A partner's loving behavior does not make their abusive behavior okay. Forced sex and cruel or threatening words are forms of abuse. And you can recognize that by just what I said. So it goes on to talk about this. It's a lot of information here, but again, I wanted to touch on these. So, violence against women can cause long term physical and mental health problems. Violence and abuse affect not just the woman involved, but also their children, the women, but their children and their families and communities. These effects include harm to an individual's health, possible long term harm to children, and harm to communities, such as loss of work and homelessness. A lot of people who have been in those abusive situations find themselves homeless with their children if they have them. And here are some short term physical effects of violence against women that I wanted to share. So, the short term physical effects of violence can include minor injuries or serious conditions. They can include bruises, cuts, broken bones, or injuries to organs and other parts inside of your body. Some physical injuries are difficult or impossible to see without scans, x rays, or other tests done by a doctor or a nurse. Short term physical effects of sexual violence can include vaginal bleeding or pelvic pain, unwanted pregnancy, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, trouble sleeping, or nightmares. If you are pregnant, a physical injury can hurt you and the unborn child. This is also true in some cases of sexual assault. If you are sexually assaulted by the person you live with and you have children in the home, think about your children's safety also. Violence in the home often includes child abuse. Many children who witness violence in the home are also victims of physical abuse. That's important to know. Sometimes it's not just the woman who's being abused by the abuser, but it can also be that the children are experiencing the abuse in some form, whether it be physical, it could be sexual, and it could be psychological. And just being in that is traumatic for a child. And I'll get into that in other videos, but I just wanted to lay the foundation, like I said before, and talk about a lot of the things that happen as a result of being in an abusive situation for women. So, what are the long term physical effects of violence against women? And this really blew me away. Violence against women, including sexual or physical violence, is linked to many long term health problems. These include arthritis, asthma, chronic pain, digestive problems such as stomach ulcers, heart problems, irritable bowel syndrome, nightmares and problems sleeping, migraine headaches, sexual problems such as pain during sex, stress, problems with the immune system. Many women also have mental health problems after violence. To cope with the effects of the violence, some women start misusing alcohol or drugs or engage in risky behaviors, such as having unprotected sex. Sexual violence can also affect someone's perception of their own bodies, leading to unhealthy eating patterns or eating disorders. If you are experiencing these problems, know that you are not alone. there are resources that can help you cope with these challenges. And this is challenging. Think about it. You can have eating disorders, you can have migraines, stress. The list, it just goes on and on. Um, what are the mental health effects against violence against women? If you experience a physical or sexual assault, you may feel many emotions: fear, confusion, anger, or even being numb and not feeling much of anything. You may feel guilt or shame over being assaulted. Some people try to minimize the abuse or hide it by covering bruises and making excuses for the abuser. If you've been physically or sexually assaulted or abused, know that it is not your fault. Let me say that again. If you've been physically or sexually assaulted or abused, know that it is not your fault. Getting help for assault or abuse can help prevent long-term mental health effects and other health problems. Now, long-term mental health effects of violence against women can include these: post-traumatic stress disorder, we say PTSD. This can be a result of experiencing trauma or having a shocking or scary experience, such as sexual assault or physical abuse. You may be easily startled, feel tense or on edge, have difficulty sleeping, or have angry outbursts. You may also have trouble remembering things or have negative thoughts about yourself or others. If you think you have PTSD, talk to a mental health professional. The other one is depression. Depression is a serious illness, but you can get help to feel better if you are feeling depressed. Talk to a mental health professional. Anxiety is yet another symptom. This can be general anxiety about everything, or it can be a sudden attack of intense fear. Anxiety can get worse over time and interfere with your daily life. If you are experiencing anxiety, you can get help from a mental health professional. In all these cases, you need help from a mental health professional who knows how to deal with all of the issues that come as a result of being in a domestic, intimate, violent relationship. Other effects can include shutting people out. I see that a lot. Not wanting to do things you once enjoyed, not being able to trust others, and having low esteem. Many women who have experienced violence cope with this trauma by using drugs, like I mentioned, drinking alcohol, smoking, or overeating. Research shows that about 90% of women with substance use problems have experienced physical or sexual violence. Substance use may make you feel better in the moment, but it ends up making you feel worse in the long term. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, or overeating will not help you forget or overcome the experience. Get help if you're thinking about or have been using alcohol or drugs to cope. Um, who can help women who have been abused or assaulted? After you get the help for the physical injuries, a mental health professional can help you cope with emotional concerns. A counselor or therapist can work with you to deal with your emotions in healthy ways, build your self-esteem, and help you develop coping skills. You can also ask your doctor for the name of a therapist, or you can research an online list of mental health services. Learn more getting help for your mental health. Victims of sexual assault can also talk for free with someone who is trained to help through the National Sexual Assault Hotline over the phone. The number is 800-656-4673. Again, the number is 800-656-4673. And they will talk with you. Just like if you call the National Domestic Hotline, there are people there that will talk to you. They will give you the resources and tools you need to get out. And this one is what are some other effects of violence against women? So this is some it's a lot. It's a lot. It really is. Violence against women has physical and mental health effects, but it also affects the lives of women who are abused in other ways. So there are other ways also. Work. Experiencing a trauma like sexual violence may interfere with someone's ability to work. Half of women who experienced sexual assault had to quit or were forced to leave their jobs in the first year after the assault. Total lifetime income loss for these women is nearly $250,000 each. Home. Many women are forced to leave their homes to find safety because of violence. Research shows that half of all homeless women and children became homeless while trying to escape intimate partner violence. That's horrible. In school, women in college who are sexually assaulted may be afraid to report the assault and continue their education. But the Title 10 laws require schools to provide extra support for sexual assault victims in colleges. Schools can help enforce no contact orders with an abuser and provide mental health counseling and school tutoring. So they do have support even on college campuses. Women with children may stay with an abusive partner, and I told you that in previous videos, because they fear losing custody or contact with their children or the financial support. Sometimes the abuser will withdraw the financial support until the court makes them pay. But in the meantime, you're going through a lot trying to provide for your children. So that causes a lot of women in those situations not to leave when they should. They'll stay. Sometimes violence against women ends in death, which is so horrible. More than half of women who are murdered each year are killed by an intimate partner. 1 in 10 of these women experience violence in the month before their death. If you have experienced abuse, contact the hotline. I gave you that. I'm going to give it to you again, 800-799-7233. Or learn more ways to get help. So there are resources out there for you. I'm praying for you. Yes, this is a subject, a topic, a situation, an issue that has to be addressed. And it's not addressed a lot because now in the media, so many other things going on that you don't get to see how people are getting out of these situations. And I told you it's 1.3 million women each year in the U.S. This is not worldwide, just in the U.S. This is happening too. It's rampant. And it doesn't look like it's getting better. But what I can do is share with you, give you the tools you need, give you the support you need, put you in the right direction to get help, to empower you, and so that you can get out of this situation. If you have children, it's so detrimental to get out as soon as you're able to. Seek out the support. Don't stop until you get the support you need. You can be successful. There are success stories. I will talk about them in later videos so that you can see you're not alone, that other people have been in these situations and have come out and been more successful than ever. They've gotten the support and the help that they need. You need to see a professional. You cannot get through this situation alone. You do need the support of people who care about you. You need the support of people who are professional, who know how to work you through and help you through the process to navigate through this difficult time. Again, this is something that is close to my heart. I wanted to share this. If you know anybody in the situation, please give the videos to them. Share it with your friends, with your colleagues, with anybody that you might even suspect are in these situations. You see how horrific and how much damage this can do to the woman. And the women in these situations, that's just the women. But what about the children in the situation? It's time to expose this once and for all. And I am here to do just that. So I know that these things are helpful for you. Like I said, share the videos. If you know somebody, talk to them, encourage them. Don't be judgmental. Make it easy for them to talk with you and walk them through the support. Be with them through the process because this is very, very difficult to go through an abusive situation. This is Lady T with Lady T Speaks TV, where we talk about relationships, and I am attacking the spirit of abuse in domestic, intimate partner relationships. Yes, that's a spirit. spiritually. I'll come back and I'll talk to you about the spiritual aspects of being in a abusive relationship, an intimate relationship. All right, everyone, take care. Praying for you all to get out of these situations and to live a productive and good life. Remember, God wants the very best for you. You deserve the best. You are worth having the best. Take care. Talk to you all soon.